With a traditional litigated divorce, the emotional toll will be as simple as receiving an email from the opposing attorney who uses certain words that were critical of you, and you will ruminate about those words over and over and over, and you will waste your attorney's time talking about those words because it hurt your feelings. And it turns out your spouse didn't use those words. Your spouse didn't even approve that email. But now you're down the road where your spouse and their attorney are the bad guys, and they're coming after you. And every interaction involves someone either being on the offensive or someone being defensive. It is an emotional roller coaster that will happen on the daily, to the point where I would have to instruct clients to filter emails out so that they only looked at emails at the end of the day, because they couldn't handle the amygdala hijack that occurred every time they saw an email come in. If you are taking a traditional litigated divorce and your children are having to go through parental evaluation after parental evaluation, all of this takes an emotional toll on you and your family. That extends out to your friends, your coworkers, your extended family. Everybody will be affected by your litigated divorce because you will eat, sleep, and breathe it. You are engaged in an adversarial lawsuit with your former partner. There is no way to unengage from that process. Now I want to talk about you and your partner engaging in an evolved divorce. You and your partner would mediate the terms of your divorce. You would mediate the issues that couldn't get resolved. Make no mistake, mediation is going to be a very emotional process for you. It is an emotional process for most people. For my clients, it was often their trial. It was where they had their voice heard. It can also be extraordinarily cathartic to be able to rid that in that day. When you have an evolved divorce, and you're resolving your divorce through mediation, the emotional toll doesn't continue on after that while you're preparing for trial, while you're hiring experts, while you're waiting for reports to come back, while you're waiting to be prepared for trial, while you're sitting outside the courtroom waiting to testify for your hearing. All of that is going to have an emotional impact, and it won't even end when your trial or your permanent orders hearing is over. It may just be the start of the next piece of your litigated divorce, your appeal. It could be never ending. If you have an evolved divorce, the goal, the objective, while acknowledging you're both there is emotion at play, we're gonna check that at the door, and we're gonna get to the business at hand, which is resolving your divorce and setting aside the emotions and not making decisions from an emotional place, but a rational place. Resolving your divorce in mediation allows you to have finality. Many and most of my clients, after mediation was complete and they had resolved the terms of their divorce, they never had to really interact with their partner ever again. Having an evolved divorce allows you finality. Mediating and resolving your case sooner gives you the ability to start healing sooner and move on to your healing journey. After you've litigated your divorce, you don't just go back home and resume your life. It is different. You will never forget having to go to trial against someone who you used to love and care about, someone you may have made babies with and spent years with and had beautiful memories with. You will destroy all of that after you go to trial. The emotional impact doesn't go away. Usually both parties are unsatisfied with the result after trial, causing a potential for one or both of you to want to keep fighting. It's harder to heal after a litigated divorce. It is harder to move on because you have been traumatized. You've been traumatized by the way that the legal system may or may not have given you justice like you thought of. You may be traumatized by the things that you read that were written about you. Your children may be traumatized because they watched this process go down. They listened to you talking on the phone. They heard daddy crying or mommy crying. They were involved in having to talk to experts and be evaluated. Everybody feels trauma afterwards. I cannot recommend enough the emotional benefits of mediating your divorce or working with me so that you can resolve it in mediation and begin to address the emotional impact that this divorce has had over your life and actually use it as an opportunity to begin healing. I've had couples who've used mediation to communicate for the first time in years and communicate in a productive way that was with kindness and respect and didn't denigrate what they had grown and allowed them a platform to continue to co-parent now in different households with different families with respect and love and kindness. It is so much harder to co-parent after you litigate your divorce because one or both of you have been hurt so deeply by the process that you actually may need therapy just to deal with the experience of the trauma of the divorce. If you can avoid that for you, for your partner, for your children, why wouldn't you choose to take a path that would give you and your partner an opportunity to exit the relationship in a way where you can still continue to co-parent, where you can attend sporting events together, where it's not uncomfortable for you to be in the same room on a graduation party, so you can both be there when your grandkids are born. Talk to me about your options before you make any decisions about taking the traditional litigation route as opposed to mediating your case. Let's talk about what it looks like if you take one path over the other before you make a decision. I'm Tia Zavaris, and I want to mediate your divorce so that I can help you avoid the devastating emotional impact that comes from a traditional litigated divorce.